Hello, this is Nina. Welcome to my channel if you are new to Channeling Qira. And if you have watched me before, welcome back. Thank you for being here. I hope you're all doing well out there. I wanted to come on today to talk about spirit guides. And the reason being that I feel like many people tell me that they feel like they don't have a connection with them, or they feel like they can't reach them, or they can't feel them, they can't hear them. And it has been a topic also for myself a lot, as Nina, as my human self, that it has been difficult. I think for past a half year or so, I feel like the energies have been to a certain extent, and it has been difficult to connect or to hear or to sink into that part. So I just wanted to talk briefly about spirit guides, because spirit guides are entities or light beings that have chosen to follow you in this lifetime and to be beside you and help you and guide you and be a support team, if you will, throughout your journey in this life. And they can come in many shapes and forms. And I think many people feel like spirit guides are supposed to look a certain way. But they can come in very many shapes and forms, and they can contact you in very many different ways. And now, of course, I'm talking to the human part of you. Your eternal self already know all of this, but of course, I'm talking to the human part. And your spirit guides can be many different beings. It can be angels, it can be spiritual beings from other plans, other places in the galaxy or on other galaxies, meaning what you would call extraterrestrial or star beings. It can be animals. It can be what you would call imaginary animals, because they don't exist in this realm on this planet, and so we call them imaginary. But in fact, they do exist, but they just exist in another dimension or in another realm. But it can also be people or energies that has been in human bodies at the same time as you have in this lifetime, and they have passed or they have exited the human form and now are existing only as an energy form, and have decided, or you have agreed with them, that they are supposed to be your guides for the duration of the rest of your human life here. So they can contact you, of course, with energy. And since everything is energy, they can actually contact you through pretty much anything, right? Because we are all, everything is made up by the same energy to begin with, coming from the God or source energy. And so you can be contacted through an animal here on the planet, like birds, for instance, butterflies, dragonflies. It can be a wolf, it can be a fox, it can be a horse, it can be a dog, a cat, it can be all sorts of different animals, even fish, dolphins, whales. I mean, they can come in any way, shape, or form, but they can also, because everything is made out of energy, and in their world, they can control energy in a way that we as physical 3D dimensional beings cannot. So they can also put objects in your way, like feathers, like coins, or they can make the human turn their heads, or kind of send a message like, look to your left, or look up, or listen to this song on the radio, so they're kind of sending you messages without you being aware, and pointing you to a direction so that you will notice what they're trying to tell you. And it can be a song, it can be just a couple of words in a song, it can be numbers. For me, for instance, I see a lot of numbers. I see on license plates when I'm out driving my car. I can see it on the internet, or if I'm working with my computer, all of a sudden I'm guided to look somewhere and it's 333, 444, 888. A lot of repeating numbers for me. I also have, sometimes birds will come and fly, and sit on the window itself, kind of right outside the window looking in. And that's very rare. And for me, that is a sign that somebody is here and somebody wants to reach me. But what I can also see is pure energy. And it can come as light flashes. I don't know if you have experienced this, but like when you make a video, it's very often that it will be a light coming, flying across, or a difference in the lighting behind the person speaking, or it's something, it's kind of a light moving in the video. So in videos, it's quite easy actually to see flashes of light, or orbs, you will call them, which is also spiritual entities or spiritual energy, the orbs. And but I have seen kind of in the corner of my eye, it's like a shadow, or especially light kind of moving. There's some sort of light moving. And when I turn, of course, there's nothing there, but it has caught my attention. So that can also be a way that they contact you. And especially if you have asked for a question, or if you have sent a prayer, they can answer you in that way. Or if you've asked, am I on the right path? Is this the right thing for me? Should I choose this? Then they will answer you. But you have to be aware of it also. I mean, sometimes they try to give you the message many times, but you're not listening, because you're not there. You're not in the energy where you are observant enough to recognize what they're trying to tell you. So I'm encouraging you to listen, to see, to feel. And also they can come in with feelings, with emotions. They can come in, we can kind of feel that somebody's standing behind you or next to you, or you can feel some emotional stuff happening within you. Of course, it can be your own emotions. It can be your own inner child trying to reach you, of course. Then by all means, please go down there and give love. But they can come in with an emotion as well. And sometimes just knowing, you just know something just popped into my head. I got an idea. Whoa, it can come from them. So it's not just your brain coming up with all these ideas. It can be from them or your eternal self. Okay? So your eternal self can be communicating with you as well. And that can feel like a guide. Sometimes it can is. And so I believe that some people feel like they are only the human, and then they have guides. And when they hear something, it's from their guides, but it actually could be your eternal self, your higher consciousness. Because your higher consciousness actually knows everything it needs to know. But it all depends on what you have chosen to experience in this lifetime, and what have you decided together with your team is going to happen to you? What have you decided that your team, what are their tasks, if you will? What's their job, following you in this lifetime? So I'm just encouraging you to look more into it and to feel more into it, and talk to them, ask them for signs, ask them to show you, and try and sink into the observer in you. When you observe yourself as a human is when you kind of sink into the eternal part of you. And when you are in the eternal part of you, everything becomes clearer, and you are, of course, even more in a position where you can communicate with your team and with what you would call God or the universe or source energy, Christ consciousness, all of those things. So yeah, that was just a little bit about your team, your guides, and remember that they can come in all shapes or forms. So If you, for instance, see a dragon, and you have, of course, been taught that dragons don't exist. No, they don't in this 3D world. That's correct. But what's to say that they don't exist in another dimension? You know, or fairies, or gnomes, or unicorns. It's just because they don't exist in this 3D world doesn't mean that they don't exist in another. And also remember that star beings can also look a lot different than the human being, the human form. And they can also be very translucent, I think is the word, where they don't really have that kind of a shape like we do, like very firm shape. They can kind of be half half physical, if you will. Kind of, they will vibrate so much quicker that they will be more, you can almost see through them. They will just be a kind of a haze kind of shape. So remember also that because we vibrate on different frequencies, and the lower the frequency, the more dense the object. So if they are vibrating on a very high frequency, they will be more or less, that you won't see them, especially not with your eyes or a human inner eye. But with your eternal self, you will be able to see them. You see, so if you're able to sink into that part of you, to your eternal self, your soul, your higher self, your eternal being, then you will see them with different eyes, if you will. So that's something to train for. And of course, the way to do that is to go into meditation, to sit in stillness, preferably without any music or any guidance at all, just to sit in stillness and allow that light, the eternal being that is you, to come in through your crown and down into your body. And remember to root yourself through your root chakra and your feet. And remember that also the energy that is you is surrounding the entire human body. So it can come from all different directions. It can also come from underneath, and from through the skin, even in just straight in. But the main channel goes through that way. So that's at least very important to remember, to open the crown, open the root, and let it flow through. And of course, ask them for help, ask them to guide you, ask them to help ground, ask them to help open your chakras and balance, ask them to help you look at your inner child and the wounds you might have that needs to be loved through and felt in order to be released, because that's the only way we can release, is to love. You do not want to go against your own emotions. You want to love them just as they are, and when they are ready, they will come up and be released. But you have to feel them through in order for that to happen. So, and if that's difficult, then ask them for help. Your guides are here because they want to help you, and the angels and Jesus, if you want to invite him, and the Christ consciousness. So don't be afraid to ask for help. We are talking a lot today about asking for help from our friends and family here in the human life, and that's great. And the therapist, by all means, I use one myself, love him. But also ask for help from the other world. You are two parts in this world. You are the human part, and you are the internal self. So ask in both worlds, if you will. Okay. Yeah, I think that was pretty much what I had today, but I just wanted to address the thing about how they communicate with you, and how they just love you to pieces. No matter what you do, you are always loved by your eternal self, and by your team, and by the universe, God, Christ, whatever you believe and want to call it. So they want to help. They want to be part of your life. They want to just give and give, and they want to love you through this. So you are never alone. They want to help. They want to love you. So let them, yeah, I think that was all I needed to say today. So I'll be back with small videos here and there regarding things that I get when I channel. When I channel, it is from my eternal self, and my eternal self has been given the name Qira. hence the name of my channel, Channeling Qira. So, but when I channel through Qira, I also, of course, am in contact with other entities, with the source energy, with God, with the Christ consciousness, if you will, and other entities that might want to communicate with us. So that's why I just call the channel, instead of calling it Channeling Source, I call it Channeling Qira, because she is in contact with all of them. And so and sometimes, when I'm deep in my eternal self as Qira, then I see everything as Qira, how everything is woven together and how everything works with energy and with that kind of world, if you will, the what you would actually call the real world, because this isn't the real one. Okay, so I think that was pretty much it. I will come back. I have some more topics that I want to address, and I have already channeled a lot. I've just written it down, so I just have to flip through my book and try and find out, or let her guide me as to where what needs to be addressed first. So I will make some more videos soon and post them out there. And so I hope you're all doing very well. You are welcome to share this if you feel like anyone can benefit from my videos. And welcome to comment, of course, if there's something you would like me to address, if you have some questions that I can look into. If you are into psychic readings and stuff, I also have another channel called Nina B Intuitive Channel. You're welcome to go over there as well, where I do pick a card readings and stuff like that. So that's kind of my guilty pleasure as a human self. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I hope you're doing well, and until the next time I see you, bye.